I always find it super awkward starting these vlogs because I never know what to say, but hi. So today I have a lot of propagating I have to do. It is getting closer to spring and some of my vines are getting a little out of control. So I cut off of my Marble Queen and my Enjoy, which reverted to Pearls and Jade. If you don't know the difference, Pearls and Jade have the speckling and Enjoy does not. But it reverted, so now it's more of a Pearls and Jade. And then I took a few cuttings off of my Rhaphidophora. I've had quite a few people say they wanted one, and I need more cuttings, and they take a long time to root, so I'm letting these guys callus over. And that's a huge reason why I already cut them, is because I needed to give them some time to callus. But in just a second, I will cut them up into nodes, and I'll probably throw them in that little jar of water. I did notice that the nodes on these were kind of far apart. I'm going to trim them down just a little bit, especially on some of these really long ones, just because then I'll have more space in my little propagation jar. Some of them aren't too bad, but some of them are definitely a little awkward, like that one. So I'm going to trim them down. I'm going to wait about a half an hour or so until they're completely calloused on the ends, and then I'll pop them in water. So that's what these look like. Some cute little nodes, and they have some aerial roots, as you can see. So hopefully those will take to the water. I have a ton of Marble Queen, so if anybody wants some Marble Queen. But yeah, so I'm gonna just let these kind of set out for a little bit, and then I'll pop them in there. I had a lot of watering that desperately needed to be done, but I already did a lot of it last night, so I didn't really film it, but I figured I would kind of walk through a few of my plants and show you some new growth. So here I have my Synapsis pictus exotica, and I've got quite a few new leaves coming out on this guy. I do have him on a little moss pole that I jimmied together, but he's been dormant all winter. He grew maybe one leaf in the past 6 months, and now he's got like 3. So that's kind of cool. Usually these are slow growers, so I'm kind of glad I got some new leaves. And over here, I have my jewel orchid, my Macotes petola. And I propagated this a few months ago because I wanted to sell off some of the pieces. And I have 2 that I kept. This was the original plant that I had cut from. And this was the top cutting that I had stuck into the soil, and it produced a new leaf. And I have more new leaves coming from the original plant. I have a little string of turtles that don't really look like turtles because I have them in a terrarium, so they're very juicy looking, but they're growing like crazy, and they've pretty much kind of taken over the bottom of this terrarium. So at some point, I'll probably take a few cuttings out of here and propagate it, and eventually maybe I'll just kind of sell them in my prop shop. Let's see. I have new growth on my little baby Dischidia. When I got this, I was nervous about how it was just taking all these top cuttings, like they just chopped off the tops, but now I have all this new growth growing from it, which is really nice. So I'm glad that's happy. And let's see, what else do I have going on? My aluminum plant just grows like crazy. I got this guy at Home Depot for $2.50. $2.50. I actually have this in one of my vlogs from maybe 2 months ago. I'll put a little link in the tab so you can see it, but yeah, it was a nice find. Then over here, my philodendron has 2 flowers growing out of it. This big guy started popping out, I would say a little over a month ago, and has taken forever to grow, and it's huge. It's going to be a very big flower, as you can see. And then not even 2 weeks ago, another little mini flower popped up. So this is the first time I've ever had a philodendron flower on me, so I'm kind of excited about that. I know it's taken up a lot of energy to grow these flowers, but since it's my first flower on here, I want to just let them grow and bloom, and that will be kind of fun. So hopefully it won't take too much longer for them to open up. Little caterpillars are in the way, but I love how bright orange they are against the lime green color. So pretty. My Birkin is constantly giving me new growth. For some reason, this leaf kind of came out deformed and it has like a split at the top, but it's still healthy. But I have a lot of new leaves and they're starting to come out a little wider and wider, which I'm totally okay with. And let's see. My Tradescantias are growing nicely. My little cutting back there. I have this Ruby Cascade I bought as a cutting that literally had, I don't know, maybe 8 leaves on it, and it's more than doubled in size. It's probably almost like quadrupled in size. And then I have this tiny little global green, which was dormant for a little while, but now I got a new leaf coming out. There's a little new guy in there, so that's kind of exciting. Then my Ceropegia woodii, my little string of hearts. Always, always, always new growth. That never lacks. But I'm hoping some of these leaves get a little bit bigger because I want some bigger leaves. But it's because that's a lot of new growth. I've taken so many cuttings from him that it's all mostly babies. So those should mature this time around. I'm not going to cut it for a little while until they mature. What else do I have growing? My Marantas. Tons of new leaves are popping out on my Marantas right now. Where are they? Can't find them in the camera, of course. Oh, there's one right in front of me. So there's a new leaf right here. And there's some more new leaves back here, I think. Oh, it's down here. We got another new leaf here. I love these little leaves because they look like paper rolls. They're so cute. And my Rhaphidophora is growing consistently. Always. This is a brand new leaf right here. I like how wide the fenestrations are on him. He's a happy little guy. But he was growing pretty aggressively. That's why I went ahead and took some more cuttings because he's a hardy one. And then my Micans. My Micans took off. Look at how long this vine has gotten. He's a long booger. And he's just keeps growing too. More new leaves. The caterpillar's there too. Sorry, it's not focusing. There he is. He's getting long. I have to kind of like wrap him up so that my daughter doesn't grab him. And I have little twinkle lights off to the side, so sorry. But yeah, he's happy and healthy. And I'll probably be taking some cuttings from him pretty soon too, because I want to keep him bushy. I don't want him to get too leggy. And then I've had this Syngonium for some time, and it is just constantly giving me new leaves. I mean, I can't even count how many new leaves there are right now. I would say there's easily close to like 10. There's so many. And I'm kind of excited about that because I love this one. I love the color and I love the way the new leaves look when they come out. They have this really pretty like dusty pink and this really dark green edge. Kind of cool. So that guy's nice and happy too. Let's see. Some of the hanging guys I have up here. My rickrack epiphyllum is growing super long. So I'm kind of excited about that guy. I have this tiny little Senecio macroglossus that is growing very slowly for me, but he seems super happy because he is putting out some new growth. It's just really slow. So I don't know if it's me or if that's just a slow grower. It could just be a slow grower, but I don't know. Could be me. And then my Hoya Bella is growing like crazy too. Oh my gosh, she's growing so fast. There's new growth everywhere. Look at that. All those new little tiny baby leaves. They're so cute. And there's a lot of them. They're everywhere. So she's going to be hanging over this basket really quick, which I don't mind. I guess one more last little update was my Arabica bean tree. And I had this in my troubleshooting video, which I will also link in the little tags. But since I moved it over here, it is like super happy. This was like what was starting to happen. It was starting to get chlorotic like really bad on some of the most mature leaves. And at first I thought, well, maybe the leaves were just because they were mature, they were getting old. So I thought maybe they were just going to die off. There's a couple of them down here too. But it was getting a little too prolific. So I moved it to this spot where it was getting shade from this larger pot next to it, but it was still getting really bright light from the window because it's a south-facing window. And look, he's so happy and he has new growth coming out. There's some new baby leaves and some new growth in here too. So I'm not worried about this guy anymore. He just needed a new home and he's happy. So eventually these leaves I'm sure will drop off, but getting new growth like that makes me feel so much better. Of course, there is my Adansonii, which is just living. You know, I have one big vine, which I'm so scared to cut. I should cut and propagate it and like replant it back in and make him nice and full. And I probably will do that, but when you get one really long vine, like cutting it is just I don't know, it's really hard. You get like emotionally attached to it. So at some point, at some point, oh my gosh, I'm losing my voice. At some point, when it is growing a little faster from spring and it starts getting a little bit more aggressive, I will cut it and propagate it, and then I can have a fuller plant. But look at this leaf right here. Look at that. It's like, oh, it's so cool because it's just like this huge fenestration in it. And I don't know if it's even supposed to do that because I've never really seen Adansonii with a fenestration that big, but that's pretty cool, right? I like it. So she just sits up there and eventually will probably climb its way around. But this isn't a bald spot because when I first bought it, I had cut a piece off. So there's a little bald spot from that, but I don't mind. I just let him live his life. And then my Hoyas, I have my queen, my crimson queen, which has a couple of blonde leaves. And she's had these blonde leaves for quite some time. And I don't mind. They're beautiful. But, you know, they don't really make any energy for the plant, but they're not crisping up or causing any harm. So I leave them because I like to look at them. They look like buttermilk. And I have the princess right next to it, which she puts out some new growth here or there, but it's pretty slow. They both grow really slow for me, but they're happy and healthy too. So I'm not going to complain. And then the last one I'm going to talk about is this little Immaculata that I had gotten as a cutting from someone. She was selling this on her Instagram and I snatched it up and it's so cute. When I first brought it home, it had a new leaf that was coming out, but I think the shock of the change caused the new leaf to fall off. But immediately, but immediately after, it started to put out another new leaf, and he's grown quite a bit. And I think I even have more new growth coming out right here. So I'll get a fourth leaf coming from him. Not too shabby. I leave him under here, and just to give him a little extra humidity, I put this on top, and he stays happy in there. So when he gets a few more new growth, new leaves. I'll take the top off and get him acclimated to regular life. I haven't spent too much time on my plants, but watered them all last night. I'm going to stick all these cuttings into the water right now so they can start to root. And I'm going to leave them alone for another couple weeks because I'm pretty sure I'm going to start seeing some crazy new growth coming, and I'm going to have a lot more propagating to do. I'm going to be fertilizing soon. Probably doing some more work on the patio. I need to green it up out there. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. That's kind of it. That's all I got right now. But I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching, and I think that's it. Okay, thanks. Bye.